All right, smokables video. This one's going to be kind of laid back. I've kind of settled on a blend for now. It's very easy for me to obtain, and it has very little side effects. It doesn't really taste all that great, but I think the benefits outweigh that. You know, the benefit of not being irritating and that sort of thing. So the blend is mullein and mint, as the title suggests. Very easy for me to make, and it doesn't take very long. Here's the mullein I use. It's the rosette, or the young first-year plants. I've learned that these are less harsh when you smoke the taste, right? Now, I don't inhale this. I don't inhale the smoke. I could, I suppose. I did try it. It did open my airways, but it irritated my airways. It irritated my sinuses. I might have smoked too much of it that day, but I wanted to make sure that I was getting an effect. Okay. But it's easy. It's very easy for me to process this, which is one of the things that is one of the things that I'm looking for. If I want to, I can pick the rosette, stick it in the oven and dry it at 245 degrees for 45 minutes, and then let it cool down for another 45 minutes. And then smoke it. Or I could do like I did with these, hang them up. I've got a bunch of these hanging up in my shop for a week. And the ones that don't get moldy are the ones that I prepare. I just take the soft parts of the leaf off the stem, just like that. Once they're dry enough, this comes off really easily. And then once I got a batch, I just crumple it up. It's very easy to prepare. It's one of the easiest, other than the raspberry leaves, one of the easiest to prepare. And it does produce a good amount of smoke, which is what I like. I don't want to have to puff on it a whole lot to get it smoky, so to speak. There are some things that I've tried that you have to keep puffing on it a lot to get it to start smoking, so you can smoke it. English is so funny. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I ruin my batches when I bag them up. So I'm going to just keep these hung up in my shop until I want to use them. You know, if I run out of this, I'm going to keep this bag open. My other batch that I closed up got ruined somehow. I guess the mold got to it. I'll just keep it open, and if it doesn't taste that great, doesn't taste that great. I'm not too worried about that. And like I've said before, I don't smoke the funny stuff. It makes me stupid for days. I don't have a pleasant experience unless I've got nothing else to do. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about how I experience ADHD and autism. For some reason, I don't like an effect if I can't snap out of it. So smoking the funny stuff, that effect is very powerful, and you can't snap out of it. You got to wait until it wears off. As I get older, anything like that has an effect that has to wear off, I don't like. I don't enjoy it, no matter what. Like for instance, drinking. I'll drink socially and stuff, but I don't like having to wait for it to wear off. I don't really enjoy it all that much, and I think it has to do with the ADHD or the autism. It's just not. I don't really need. It's not beneficial, and I don't really need an external thing to get me into like a zone. something else can stimulate it that's not chemical. It can be an activity. Uh, it could be like rocking in a rocking chair. Or I used to have a motorcycle. I would just cruise on the motorcycle in these areas that didn't have traffic and just go the minimum speed limit and just cruise around and around and the same over and over again. And I'd go into a very calm state. And with the wind, something like that, repetitive activities, as long as they're not strenuous or as long as I don't need to focus on them, like peeling shafts, arrow shafts, just peeling the bark off. That can be relaxing for me, that repetitive over and over and over. That can get me into a zone, in other words. I don't need an external chemical or a chemical that doesn't wear off very easily. If it's a chemical that wears off easily or quickly, it's okay. But yeah, I don't need any intoxicant. In other words, I try to get my intoxication through meditation. All right. I like these matches. You just wait until the wood part catches, and if the wind cooperates, it's good. This stays lit, so I can get a good ember going. And yeah, I don't like the taste of the mullein, but with the mint added, it is improved somewhat. Somewhat. And I tried this late last night before bedtime, but I don't like to do it just before bedtime. Like last night, it was just before I went to sleep, and I was getting some heartburn. I think, just the taste of this reminds me of food or something. It reminds my brain of food. Maybe the stomach acids start going. I don't know. But yeah, I had heartburn last night. A little bit. It went away pretty quick. So one of the ways I experience autism is the disconnection. I can be fully connected to something, and I can also be fully disconnected. Some things I'm just totally clueless about, and I won't notice until I back off and look at the bigger picture, if that makes any sense. I can be hyper focused in my studies, but I can also miss something completely obvious. Over the years, I've learned to back off and look at things as if I was an observer instead of being in the moment. I look as if I'm an observer. Yeah. The other thing is the disconnection between brain and mouth, or brain and facial expressions. I remember one time I was smoking the funny stuff with friends of mine, and I went to go use the bathroom. I looked in the mirror and I had this funny look on my face, but I wasn't happy. I mean, I was like, and I looked at myself, but in my brain, I'm like, I'm tired, it's getting late. Completely different from my facial expression. That was kind of freaky. So I think that has to do with the disconnection. Um, and the ability to speak too. What I'm thinking and what I'm saying can be two different things. If I was not able to hear what I say, I'd probably say the wrong thing every other sentence. I need that feedback. And some people, they don't need that feedback, I think. But what are the big things? Like, I can't, in a personal conversation, I can't say stuff like, I'm proud of you, or I think that you've been a very good person, or something like that. And I regret that I'm not able to say that, especially as my kids were growing up, because for some reason, one-on-one, these very personal statements are very difficult for me to talk about. Now, I don't think that's a disconnection. It just has something to do with how to express something like that and sound like it's authentic. If I say that I'm proud of you and all that, it sounds rehearsed, because it is, because it doesn't come out as real, because I get way too emotional. Like, if I were to sit down with someone one-on-one and say something like, I'm proud of you, I would start to get choked up. I probably wouldn't be able to complete that sentence. That kind of thing. Now, I don't know if, I think that has to do with autism. It's just the overwhelming experience. Emotions for me are either distant or it's right in my face. There's no in between. I have to either distance myself or I'm right in there with it. And in order for me to control the emotions, I have to distance myself quite a bit. Maybe that's ADHD. I don't know. I've been doing research, and I find out that I rehearse a lot, and I mask, and uh, I try to get a procedure going to do something, or to say something. And there's three things, when I'm speaking, there's three things that are going on. One, I say what I want to say in my brain first, and then I say it, and then I listen to what I've said. There's three steps. And if there's an incorrect thing, I can say it again and try to correct it. So there's three things. Before I say anything, I'm actually saying it in my head first, then I'll say it, and then I listen and analyze the memory of what I listened to. Yeah. And I can analyze entire conversations after I've had them with somebody by remembering what I've said. One thing that I noticed is that I can remember what I've just said, but other people, when they say something, a lot of times if I say go back 4 sentences, and I didn't catch that whole idea a little ways back, and they can't remember at all what they said that far back. I can remember pretty far back of what I said. I can remember from the beginning of this video, a lot of it in sequence, as long as it doesn't last too long, of course. What else? My brain switched channels. So, changing the subject, I was watching a video, and I just changed channels again, so I forgot what the video was about. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I can't remember. There's something about how autism, oh yeah, age-related. You get age-related dysfunctions or diseases or conditions when you have autism. Very susceptible to age-related illnesses. One of them is dementia, and probably Parkinson's and other ailments that are age-related. You're more susceptible if you have autism. That's what the video was about. So I have to watch out for that. And I can see it in my dad and in his father as well. This lack of mobility as you get older. As they got older, they lost mobility. So I have to watch out for that. I've completely changed my diet, and that has helped a lot as far as fatigue goes. It starts as fatigue, and then it becomes lack of interest in moving at all, and then it becomes a fight with yourself to actually do exercising of any sort, including exercising as part of making money. When you have to do something that requires physical effort to make money, you run into a wall. And that's not just ADHD, it's some kind of blockage. It's some kind of physical discomfort blockage. And it was coming with age. But when I changed my diet, that went away a lot. I'd say 80% of that went away. Okay, so I have to watch that. It also affects mood. Autism affects mood. There's one channel I watch a lot, and I'm trying to nail down exactly how I experience the autism. This channel's pretty close to the way I experience it, but it's not really exactly. That's a loud background noise, right? I don't know if, I think this microphone cancels it out, so I think it's okay. They just started with their circular saw up there. They're always using a power tool or a lawnmower up there. Anyway, I'll do more research on that. For now, this video is going to be pretty short and not really involved in, not too involved as far as smokables go. Just the update on the Mullein blend. The mint and the Mullein are working good. I had some not indigestion, reflux. I'm not sure if it was this stress or my body getting fooled by the taste of the Mullein, because the Mullein is more of an actual food flavor than the other stuff. The raspberry leaves are good, but it has some irritating effects. The strawberry leaves are very good. I'm going to get more of those, or I'm going to grow strawberries, or I got to get more of those. I don't do this very often when I'm feeling side effects. All right, but this does help to get me in the zone. I really can't travel anywhere. Driving gets me in a good calm mood if I'm just in a safe area, not having to worry about bumper to bumper stuff, or keeping track of my speed limit as far as the changes in speed limit. Like if I have to keep track of the changes in speed limits as I'm going through an area, I can't calm down. If it's the same speed limit through the whole area, and if it's a circuit, I can calm down while I'm driving. But I can't really leave the house for very long, so anything that doesn't make any noise, something I can do on the front steps, and it doesn't cost anything, is perfect. This is perfect. Okay. Yeah, I default to the lighter because I need very little wind if I'm going to use the matches. But yeah, they're good and strong matches, and they stay lit pretty well, even in the breeze. And the Mullein burns down to nothing. There's nothing in there. It burns down. I just keep pushing the ashes and compressing the ashes down in there, and that's it. Very little ash, which is pretty good. It's not like the silky dogwood bark that has a lot of ash. So this pipe is probably going to be the Mullein pipe, and I'll make some more for other things. All right, that's it.